Hi everyone, this is Mike Mickelwright once again bringing to you our fourth episode of the value of daily Kaizen in a pandemic world. In this episode, I'm going to be speaking a bit about daily Kaizen in action. Now, to begin with, I received permission from the Chief Accounting Officer of an insurance company, a Fortune 200 insurance company. And she said, after we had worked with her for quite some time and her group in the finance division, she said, I am so grateful we have deployed the continuous improvement tools. I cannot imagine where we would be without the daily Kaizen sessions. We are now moving into a virtual environment with our boards. This was back in March when the pandemic was first rearing its ugly head in the United States. And they were holding many different daily Kaizen meetings in the office. And by many, probably about 20 or so daily Kaizen meetings with the small natural teams. And then all of a sudden, everyone was working from home. Now, what they did, almost invariably, every single team worked hard on taking their physical board and making it electronic. And so they pretty much copied everything that was being done, as well as the aspects of holding a meeting into a virtual board that they adapted very quickly, and they were able to continue their meetings and continue the success that they were having with their meetings in driving improvement. So they weren't just sustaining. They were going beyond just sustaining and doing the normal workload, but they continued to improve soon after all of these changes occurred. So it really allows for great adaptability because you have the structure of the foundation, and the only thing that really had to do was make a physical board into electronic. Now, what about those other companies, those other organizations that perhaps rely on the physical in-person daily meetings, and they're not working from home? How do they do this? Well, again, adaptability. They have done things to protect people. I've seen where some organizations have staggered their meetings. So instead of one 15-minute meeting with 12 people, let's say, maybe there's two different meetings at two different times covering the same content of 15 minutes each with 6 people in each of those meetings as a possible idea. And this is what a lot of organizations have done. Of course, to respect the social distancing, the rules were changed. The meeting rules were changed that would describe exactly what I discussed, but also the requirement for masks during the meetings. And then also, in many cases, people put some kind of marker on the ground to identify locations of where people stand during the meetings. Another thing that's being experimented on with me and a couple of the Kaizen Institute clients is we're working with in some cases you might have some people who are at the meeting physically, they are in the location wherever they work, but you have some people who are working virtually, so it's kind of a hybrid. What do you do? So what we're doing is experimenting with the use of a robot, and a robot actually attending the meeting, and your image or person's image, if they're working from home or whatever, is right on the screen of the robot, and that person who is working from home can zoom in, and they can look around and look around at who's speaking, and they control that environment. So that's a real cool alternative, and I'm pretty excited about that. But if that doesn't work, and if you don't want to go that direction, of course, FaceTime is also being used. So there's a lot of different options, and it's really important, as discussed in the previous episodes, that we have to keep going forward, and there should be, the pandemic world does not offer an excuse to stop. And in fact, it encourages to keep moving forward with our daily Kaizen.